Paint the Town Red from Southeast Games is one of the best games on PSVR2 that you probably don't know about. Or maybe you have an idea of what it is, but in this video I'll show you an aspect of the game that you might not even know exists. Because at first glance, the game seems like some kind of brawler, where you start fights in various locations, and, well, that's what the game is, to be fair. But it's not just that. There's a game mode hidden beneath the surface, in the depths of the game. This mode is called Beneath. Well, yes, as I said, there's the fun escapist aspect of Paint the Town Red. You can play in a saloon, a prison, a bar, and start a brawl where you need to be the last one standing to win the round. It's funny, the characters look silly, and you can take almost any object to hit them. You can disfigure them, dismember them, decapitate them, etc. It's very physical, and since the locations are relatively small, you need to have eyes in the back of your head. And in every level, there's a kind of boss, a character stronger than the others, surrounded by his bodyguards. The goal of this game mode is simple: survive. When people talked about Paint the Town Red, this is what I had in mind. I really didn't suspect that the game had more to offer. The Beneath mode, on the other hand, is a full roguelite with different character classes, bosses, upgradable weapons, and permanent upgrades that make each trip to the depths easier every time. When you start the mode, you're in an elevator that goes down, and you end up in some sort of military base. It's huge, there are all sorts of rooms, some of which you can't access right away, but that will come. You're not really sure what to do, but this room here at the entrance is the most important for now. This is where you choose your class. You have the Warlock, the Brawler, the Spectre, the Vanguard. Each one has different traits and special powers. Then you head here, press the button, and it takes us even deeper. And here we have this big room full of enemies. We need to find weapons right away and start attacking. On the screen we're told that the pursuer is watching over this place. And I tell you, you don't want to run into the pursuer. And that's how you start killing everyone, switching weapons regularly because you don't last long, and you keep advancing in the underground. So what's the goal? Well, you need to go from one level to another and get better every time. You see the arrows at the top of the screen on the compass? The green arrow is the merchant. You need to visit him to spend the coins you earn from killing enemies and buy health, stamina, or weapons. You also need to spend your purple coins in the bottom right corner of the screen, which allow you to purchase permanent upgrades that you'll keep forever. Because if you don't spend the coins right now, you'll lose them when you'll die. In short, we advance through several levels. We start with the caves, then crystal caverns, which are blue, and the red ruins. There are tons of different types of enemies. You can use pretty much anything you find as a weapon. You need to be careful though at the start, because you're weak, your stamina is low, and weapons break very quickly. You have special powers, which recharge during combat and can be used when surrounded by enemies. Depending on the class you've chosen, the powers are different. Each environment, the caverns, the ruins, etc., has its own distinct enemies. And the goal is to progress from one sector to the next until you reach a boss. But there's more to it than that. There are things I'm not showing you because I don't want to spoil anything. For example, I'm not telling you what this thing is for. Personally, I spent hours and hours in this game, and I haven't seen everything yet. I still have one boss to beat, out of 3, in my main save. It's a voxel type game, so the graphics are reminiscent a bit of Minecraft or Ancient Dungeon. There are tons of settings in the menu, and I love the movements, the speed, and I don't feel any discomfort or nausea in the game. I can play for 2 or 3 hours in a single session and feel great when I take off the headset. The graphics are decent, like Ancient Dungeon, though maybe a bit more muted, less saturated, but that doesn't take anything away from the game, which I think is fantastic, and I highly recommend it to all players who enjoy action, mystery, deep games where you can choose your role, upgrade your weapons, and you have to think hard. Because the game won't tell you everything. In my case, I haven't yet figured out how to get to the third boss. Without my friend Bedry from the Bedry Pro Knife 29 channel, who finished the entire game, there are things I probably would have never found. It's intense, relatively complex, but also very simple at the same time. And it's a lot of fun. One last thing, there's an arena mode too, which is very fun. You simply try to survive different waves of enemies. It's violent, funny, and physically demanding. Make sure you have enough space to play, so you don't hit the Sense controllers against the walls or a table, or worse, the TV. I think there's a game mode where you can build your own levels, but I haven't explored that. Basically, Paint the Town Red offers you everything you want if you like the style. It costs 27 Canadian dollars on the PlayStation Store. I recommend it at that price, but if you prefer, it's often on sale. Be careful though, don't get confused with the flat version, which is separate on the store. Make sure you buy the VR version if that's what you want, because yes, the game can be played flat, but that's a separate purchase. For a lot of violent, funny, but sometimes stressful fun, I highly recommend Paint the Town Red VR, one of the best underrated games on PSVR2. Now, all we need is the multiplayer mode. Where is it?